We are in Berlin Mitte today, visiting Ju Schnee. She's an artist from Austria, now based in Berlin, and she's creating really cool animated art. So let's check it out. Have you always been interested in art? Have you always been an artist basically, or how did it come to you?
I always wanted to be an artist. Like that was my first idea, my dream when I was a child, and I always painted the walls and drew on the walls, which made my mom crazy back then. But somehow I didn't really did it at the beginning. Like when I studied, I was too afraid to call myself an artist, just because of financial reasons. So my dream was always to be an artist, but somehow I took the more safer route and studied communication design, because I thought that's something that's more safe. But yeah, during my work as a graphic designer, I just figured that, I don't know, I need to make art again. I need to paint again, and that's why I shifted myself more and more from basically communication design to art. Let's just call it art. Yeah.
But you've always been a creative person.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be an artist, and no matter what, I was always creative and always painting and drawing, and during my whole life, that was always my goal.
Okay, wow. Yeah. Is someone else in your family a creative person?
No, that's so funny. No, I'm the only one. Like, I come from a very traditional and conservative family, and I'm the only one who is like, I don't eat meat, and my parents are like hunters.
Oh, really?
So it's like really a different life that I'm living, and I'm coming from a really small town in Austria, and now I'm living in this big city, and I'm freelancing. I don't know, I'm just so different than everybody else in my family is. But that's okay.
And they support you in your journey?
Yes, they support me. They sometimes don't really understand what I do, which is okay, because it's really abstract and something very different than their lives are. So it's okay for both sides, and we support each other, which is good. Yeah.
That's good, yeah. And so your art style is very abstract and like sort of like very flowy and with a lot of movement, but has it always been like that? Or if you say like, oh, I've started painting or being creative when I was a child, did it change throughout the years?
It's funny because the things that I'm doing now are basically the same things that I did as a child, just in a different technique. But I mean, throughout the years, I experimented a lot and I tried out a lot, and I always wanted to find my own style. And therefore I really, experimented. But as a child, I just did these little squiggles a lot. And I went back, I think a year ago, and took a look at the school books. And I saw in all the school books that I did these little squiggles on every page here and there. And I thought, that's so funny because it's the same thing I'm doing now. And during this time of experimentation, where I wanted to find my own style, I just figured that when I don't think about what I want to do, if I'm not focused, if I just let it flow and see what happens, then I start drawing these abstract squiggle shapes. And that's the point where I thought, okay, maybe I should give those shapes more room, leave everything else behind, and just focus on this, let's say, very naive and just abstract shapes, which are not really telling a story yet. They're just some squiggles, you know. But yeah, I just took them and blew them up and made them bigger and gave them more space, and now they're my main thing in every painting, actually.
This is so beautiful. I think this is amazing because I feel like lots of kids, I would say everyone is kind of an artist, but some people lose it because they overthink and then they doubt themselves. And it's so cool to see that you're coming full circle and you're going back to your original ideas that you had and the flow you experienced as a child. But that you're also allowing yourself to do that because I can only speak for myself, but I have this like part of myself which is very like controlling and judgy, and to just shut that out and be like, okay, this is what really comes from inside and what wants to be there, and allowing that is amazing.
Yeah, somehow I'm really also self-reflective, so I really think about everything I do and I reflect everything. And so this was some time in my life where I experimented and everything, where I felt not really full, you know. I wasn't fully happy about what I did. So I thought, okay, I need to change something. And I think if you can reflect that and always think about if you're happy or not in each situation, and if you're not happy, then maybe it's time to change something. And that was the point for myself. So I just left everything and focused on, okay, what am I good at and what is making me happy and what is coming naturally. And that was these squiggle shapes. And then I just, focused on that.
I love it. I love that. And what is your biggest source of inspiration when you, like, what comes into your mind when you start to paint or when you start to create sculptures?
So it's different. I'm like, I think most of the artists, I'm just inspired by life itself. But I come from a pretty spiritual background, so we've talked before, but I used to be a yoga teacher, and so I'm all into this yoga mindset, also a little spiritual, and somehow I don't know, I reflect the things in life through my art. And it's not so much about heavy topics, it's more about your inside, how are you feeling inside, and also about problems you maybe have inside, diseases, and but also the good things in life. But it's more about the introvert things, not so much the outside world. So I try to find inspiration in that, also when I'm not feeling good. Try to find inspiration in also social communication, about how people are communicating with each other, and
So when you start to create something, do you have the finished result in mind?
No. I sometimes have the idea, like a feeling or something that I want to reflect. But the funny thing is about my art, like the painting is not the canvas where I start. It's not the white canvas and I go there and I just let it flow. That's not how my workflow is done. So I start everything digitally on the computer, but that's kind of my canvas. So I go there and I have this feeling or first idea in mind, and then I start with different programs to fill the scene. And sometimes I also work with artificial intelligence, so I'm not the only producer of my art, but I help myself with AI in different programs, which is also funny because then a situation happens that I could have never created just by myself. And so everything happens digitally, and then when I'm done, like when I'm happy with it, then comes the analog part where I go to the canvas. Which is the other way around than other people do.
It's very interesting. Have you always done it like that? I mean, you must have at one point started to include the digital aspect, right? Like, how was that for the first time?
I think it was a shift during the times, because back then I just drew on paper or I painted on canvas, but just because I didn't have another opportunity. I didn't have the techniques, my MacBook or my devices, everything. I didn't have that as a child. And then when I studied, I just realized how much easier it is to do something for myself, to do something on the computer. And then I started doing the drawings and the sketches I did beforehand with pencil. I did it on the iPad, for example. And then somehow it just shifted, because I realized for me it's more easier to start on a computer than to start on the canvas. And then it got more and more and deeper, so that a full artwork happens on a computer first. And then I started also with digital art and everything, but somehow I just can't do it without painting. So I'm not done when the digital artwork is done on the computer. I'm not done, and I'm not fulfilled. So I need to also transfer it to the canvas to, give myself a little bit of meditation or something.
That's so beautiful. And how much time do you spend on the digital aspect of making it, and how much time is the analog part?
It depends on how complex the picture is, but I would say I give myself room for the digital work until it's totally done. I think it's not much of a time. It's maybe a day, like a full day of work, but split it up in different kinds of hours every single day, so until I'm done. But then when I go to the canvas, it really could be that it takes me weeks to finish the work, because sometimes my works are really complex, and then it takes like 2 to 3 weeks. And if the picture is more simple, then I would say maybe a week or so. Okay. Yeah, but it takes some time. And also, I can't really start a new painting right after I finished another one. I always need time to breathe in between. So I'm not the fastest creator.
But it's not about speed.
No, that's true, yeah. I give myself the room and the time, and now it takes a little longer, but that's okay for me. Yeah.
And have you ever had moments or time periods where you didn't feel inspired at all and you felt kind of stuck, or is it always a constant flow?
I don't know, it's always a flow. There are always ideas, like more ideas than I could really paint. There's always something in my head, and I'm sure there will come a time where I'm not inspired at all and I don't have any ideas, but so far there are so many ideas in my head, and if I'm finished with an artwork I could actually go straight to another one, but I just need to take some time to breathe in between, because somehow I also have this kind of like a little hangover after a heavy painting, you know? Yeah. I feel really, I mean, it felt good on the canvas, but it's also exhausting, and I need some time to rest again, to take some more energy, and then when I'm fully energized I can go to another one. But the ideas are always there.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
Somehow, I don't know, yeah.
Well, I'm impressed, yeah. Okay.
But maybe it's because the paintings take so long, so I have enough time in between to just think about a new idea, to also, like as I said, the paintings for me are kind of meditation, and it's time for me to just focus and think about everything I want to think and let my thoughts flow. And then sometimes when I'm painting a painting, then another idea evolves for a new one, so it's always, I don't know, it's always a constant flow.
That's amazing. Yeah. I wish I had that.
No, I mean, every artist is different, and I wouldn't say this one is better and this one is not, but yeah, it's as I said, I'm not the fastest one, but the ideas are always there. Yeah.
And what's your favorite part about life as an artist right now?
For me, it's kind of the freedom to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And also, I have the studio here, and I'm all alone in the studio, and that's something I really appreciate. So I don't know, I just figured out that I can live with myself pretty well. So I just like the time to be alone here in the studio, to listen to my kind of music, to experiment, and to, I don't know, not have somebody or something that blocks me in a way. So I can just do whatever I want to do. I mean, sometimes it's hard financially, of course, but when I have the freedom and when I can just let it flow and do what I want to do, it feels amazing. It's one of the best feelings somebody can have, I think. Yeah.
So music, as you said, is something that you like to include in your work?
Yeah, exactly. So like this painting here, Trapped in Self-Reflection, that was something that I did when I listened to a special music album, and I just listened to it during the process, and I don't know, it gave me so much, and somehow this influences me a lot. But sometimes also I listen to, I don't know, upbeat music and to good mood music, and then it happens that I'm just like randomly dancing in the studio. And sometimes I think when somebody's like seeing me from outside, they think I'm crazy, but I don't mind.
I love it.
I don't know, I just let it flow, you know? Yeah. Same as with the paintings, if it happens, I just let it flow, and it feels good. And that's something that makes me even more happy in the situation. So it's a constant, I don't know, a constant motivation flow somehow.
I feel like when I came in here, there was a lot of vibrance and a lot of high energy when I got inside. Maybe it's because of all the beautiful colors and like the shapes of everything. I feel like it's very energetic and like comforting, but also like energizing. Really.
That's really nice to hear.
Yeah, it's a really cool mix of colors, but it still goes very well together. So it's not like overwhelming, but uplifting.
I mean, for a lot of people it is overwhelming, but for me it's also uplifting.
I love it.
Okay, nice.
And I can see how it's very inspiring to get creative in here.
Yeah, true.
I would love to have a closer look at your paintings, at your works.
Yeah.
You want to show me around a little bit?
So all of my works are working with augmented reality. That means that I'm painting one moment of like a bigger story, and if you go there with your phone, the whole story will show. So I can, if you want, I can show you. So yeah, this one is called Exhale, because it has this kind of exhale movement when you can lose everything, you know?
This is insane. Yeah, it's so crazy.
And then it fills up again, like you breathe in again, like fully breathe in, and then comes the moment again where it drops and where you can exhale everything.
This is so crazy. I've never seen that before with someone else. It's so unique and so special.
That's nice.
Wow.
So this is another one, and yeah, I can just go through. So this is a series that is combined together. Like this is the moment where you're inside of the scene. Speaking of inside of life, like totally in the middle of life, everything is happening. You're in the center and you're in the middle of it and you're feeling it. And then these shapes are like falling down, and you just see it going further and further until they reach the ground, and you're here and you're like seeing it from another angle, and a lot of time has happened. They're now lying on the ground and you're here, and like thinking about everything that happened, and now seeing maybe everything a little bit clearer, that when you're not inside again. And then it's a loop, and it goes all and all again. They're coming in again and they're falling on the ground again, you're seeing them, and it's a constant loop, which is kind of like a reflection of life somehow. So sometimes you're in between of life, and then life just happens, and at the end you reflect everything and you see it from another side.
This is so impressive. I've never also, Anna, come close to the picture and show how amazing this is painted. It looks like it's a digital animation, which I think that's the whole point of it, but it really works. It's so smooth, and oh my gosh, it's crazy.
But that's the meditative part somehow. I love the theme and the thing that I want to paint on the canvas, but I'm not like a super smudgy and experimental painter. I love to do it precise. That's my kind of meditation, and I like to take my time and to do everything smooth, and I don't know, that's something that's just fulfills me. Yeah.
But I can see that a lot of weeks of work go into this. Yeah, you can really tell. Do you have a favorite one?
I think it's now the Exhale here. I don't know, it's just the painting that I spent most time on it. I had a favorite one, which was the Untamed, but I just sold it like a couple of months ago, which was my baby and my favorite work, and I actually wanted to keep it forever. But then somebody was really interested in it, and he's so happy now, and that's okay for me. But I would say the Exhale now is something that I'm related to most now.
This one is the one that you were referring to earlier, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's called Trapped in Self-Reflection. And this happened in a time of my life where I couldn't really sleep and where I couldn't really calm my mind because I was constantly reflecting everything. So I was lying in bed and I was really, really tired, but I just couldn't go to sleep because I'm constantly thinking and reflecting about everything that happened. So that's why it's called Trapped in Self-Reflection. And when you see it in AR, I can show you later, it's the shapes are changing their materials. So this one is getting this color and this one is getting transparent, and it's always going back and forth and back and forth. And that was kind of the reflection that I had, that my thoughts are always coming back and forth, and they're inside of this room and they just stay there and they're trapped somehow. And that was the emotion that I had during the time. And somehow, I don't know if it was because I did the painting, but when I finished it, I could sleep again. I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of my
therapy.
Yeah, therapy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It had, it's a cool way of, on one side, being very balanced and calming, but then with the changing of the materials, it's also the movement again.
Yeah, so they're trapped. It's somehow it's calming,
Yeah.
but they can't really move. They're just stuck and trapped and forever in this forever loop.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So nice.
Thank you.
But you're also doing sculptures, right?
Yes, unfortunately I don't have any here now because most of them are sold and the other one is an exhibition. But that's what I actually really love doing. There, as you see, these shapes in my paintings are then becoming my sculptures. But yeah.
Is that something that just happened like a while ago? Because I feel like you start with the digital, like digital creation, and then it comes on canvas in analog form, and now it comes into the 3D world.
Yeah, exactly. It's always starting digitally, also the sculpture, but then I bring all the shapes to life. But actually the sculpture was my very first step into the art world, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the first one. That was always my dream, but I just couldn't, I don't know, couldn't do it myself. I tried it, but I'm really, I don't know, I want to have everything perfect, and I just couldn't do it the way that I wanted to have it. And also financially, it wasn't so easy to have it built from a company. So I just did it digitally. I did like a digital sculpture and placed it on something like this here and said, okay, this is my sculpture, even though it was just virtual and digital and not a real life sculpture. But then I like saved all my money that I had and went to a company, like a really nice company in London. They're a really nice small team that I'm always communicating with them, and told them, okay, this is what I want to do. Can you help me with that? And they supported me from the beginning, and they're still doing my sculptures now. And then I, from all the saved money that I had, built this very first sculpture. And then I had it in my hands and I was like, oh my God, it's now coming alive. And yeah, I don't know, it was such a cool moment for me. And then I didn't know if the people are interested in that or if they understand it. And then I exhibited it at a group exhibition last year. And then I sold it straight after and it was like, oh my God, the people really appreciate it and they feel it or understand it. And so it was nice.
I love that you do both, that you do the paintings but then also the sculptures, because your shapes really work in 3D as well.
That's true. Yeah. Also for this one, it's really cool because I'm having a solo exhibition in October, and I decided to not only bring these shapes here to life in form of the augmented reality video, but I will also bring 2 of the shapes as real physical sculptures out there. So in the space in October, the picture will be exhibited in the center, and then at the sides there will be both like 2 sculptures which are actually in the painting. So they're in the painting, they're falling out of it with augmented reality, and they're landing like on the podiums on the left and on the right side.
Wow.
Which is so cool because it's it's a full circle digital analog world kind of.
It's crazy how you can bring all of these different worlds together in one big project. Never seen that anywhere else before.
Nice.
It's very inspiring.
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you so much for letting us visit you and showing us your beautiful work and telling us about your story.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see you at next exhibition. I will be there for sure.